Hello, 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 and welcome to Coast Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo. I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs Amakosi Football Club, and it's an unexpected live. That's why I scheduled it like 5 hours ago. Because usually I record videos for match previews, but I thought it would be fun to just do a match preview and have you guys live. So I tried to set it up to be at 1 a.m. South African time so that because people are at church, so when they come back, they can see the video and be live. So yeah, welcome to the show. And in this video, we're previewing the Dstv Premiership match between the Soweto Giants and the fallen Soweto Giants, Swallows FC. A game that's gonna be kind of interesting because if you look at the position near Swallows, something that I don't like is happening. Um, for them, they are kind of safe now. We can say that because you look at Maritzburg United, they have Stellenbosch, they have Sundowns remaining for them, and they have Gallants. So the only game that Maritzburg United can say, oh no, we can win is only one game. Like, unless they miraculously beat Sundowns and Stellenbosch, then they can say, oh wow, I can say they deserve to stay up if they win those two games. But realistically, you can tell Uguti, right now, Maritzburg United cannot get out of that place. If they do, Ichipa United, Yona, Ichipa has the games that are remaining for them are Richards Bay, who are not in form at all. Granted, Duguti Richards Bay is playing at home in that game. They have Vitesse Galaxy again, another away game. And Vitesse Galaxy, if you look at them, they are 11th on the log and they are kind of in that relegation zone, but not really. So that game can go either way because depending on how the other results happen after the game here at Richards Bay, you might just find Uguti TS Galaxy will be in a position where they would be fighting for nothing much because if your positioning Yabo is right now, they have looking at the log right now, 32 points. The top 80 is also close enough. So they can still fight for top 8 if you think about it. Also given the fact that they actually have a game in hand on the teams above them. So Test Galaxy can still push for that. So Ichipa could also be in a bit of trouble because they would be playing a team that is fighting for something, which then leaves Iswallows. Iswallows now, since the other two teams that are below them have more difficult games, then you can find Uguti Swallows, the way that they play might not be as similar as when they still had a lot to fight for. Because right now, they will be happy with the draw. You get what I'm saying? So Swallows will be very much happy with the draw if they get a draw at Chiefs, and then they know good. Oh, all of a sudden they have 32 points. That pulls them even further from Maritzburg United because Maritzburg United, realistically, they can only get 5 points. I see them only getting 5 points, and the Swallows is already above them. Chippa United, the games that they have, now about 5 points, but they have a worse goal difference compared to Swallows. So once again, you see with all these elements, they lead to Swallows. Swallows against the Chiefs, they just need to be solid at the back and make sure they don't concede goals, right? Because they are also trying to fight for a better goal difference so that even if one of the teams below them catches up with them, they still have a healthy goal difference. So in that sense, then we are getting ourselves in a situation where we're like, Chiefs is playing a game where they are once again going to face a team that will be playing a low block. Because we've played a lot of times against teams that have been trying to press and we have been able to win against them because they've been leaving spaces behind them. But now Cheaper was sitting deep for the same reason that Swallows will be sitting deep. Same thing that we're gonna face against Super Sports. So the question then will be, how will Zwane approach the game? And we're going to talk about the availability of the players. but I just had to give you context game yoguti what is there to play for, because if there is nothing to play for, then it's easy for Swallows. Like last season, they really fought. Or Solomons, when they played against the Chiefs last season, they fought because they still had something to fight for on the last day of the league. So approach is going to be really interesting. So I also just want to hear your guys' opinions. So please let me know what you think about the game. I also forgot to write and put up a what do you call this thing? To put up that, what do you call it? To write a poll and check how many people still believe Guti Chiefs is going to win. It's always interesting when I put up those polls. I also want to hear your comments, and please like the video as well. I forgot to say that, so please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. Match predictions. I want to hear you guys' match predictions as well. Match prediction. And then you can comment with the score, because on the poll you can only vote, but guma match predictions, by commenting you can let me know what you think is going to happen. We're going to talk about the players with friends in a moment. Right now I just want us to talk about the other things that are surrounding this game. For example, when you're looking at again Chiefs, where we at right now, you're looking at us, Zwane saying we can still fight for a Champions League because anything is possible in football, which is true, right? It is true, especially given Uguti we still have a super sport. That's the only saving grace that the Chiefs kind of has. But the Chiefs will also still have to beat Cape Town City, who won yesterday coming from a goal down, and they are not going to finish in the top 4, because unless they win all the games that they have and we will lose all the games that we have, that's how Cape Town City ends up being above the Chiefs. And that's the only thing. But if you look at Ama Games, the Pirates, once again, now we're coming to Pirates. Pirates, they have Royal AM, Orlando, which is a home game. Good for them. Once again, they have Isekukune United, who played really well against the Chiefs defensively. So it would be interesting to see how are they going to break Isekukune down. You also have them playing against Amazulu. Amazulu, who, if you look at the log, once again, they are also hoping to make it to the top 8, because top 8 is like 1 point above them. So Amazulu have something to fight for, and they have a new coach. They just won 2-0 against Sekukune. So that's promising. So we can hope that they go to Amazulu Pirates, they draw, Sekukune nayo become solid, and the Royal AM nabo, they try to get something, because Kwabona, Royal AM, they are also trying to stay in the top 8. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for both of the teams. Yabo. So Pirates nabo, if they draw one game, that puts them at 47, they still have a game in hand. Pirates, there's no way they're not getting number 2. It's just a realistic thing. Uguti Chiefs is not making that CAF Champions League spot, if we're being honest, because they have a game in hand, which they're playing today. Yeah, they are playing today against TS Galaxy. So that game in hand, we are crossing our fingers. Hopefully Pirates loses and something crazy happens. Because once that happens, then it opens up a lot of possibilities. But if that doesn't happen, Chiefs can forget about that. As for the third spot, beating a super sport and hoping something happens again with super sport is again just wishful thinking, because if you think about it, do you think a super sport can realistically fail to win the other 2 games? Because the one game they're playing with the Chiefs, but the other 2 games they will be playing. Let me check. Let me just confirm there are 2 fixtures. The other 2 fixtures. So super sport has the teams that are remaining for them, Stellenbosch, which is going to be a good game once again on Wednesday, not on Wednesday, on Tuesday. And then the other game is Sekukune. So basically Stellenbosch and Sekukune are the teams that are going to decide who finishes third and second, because they are there for Pirates and they're also there for Super Sports. So they are going to really decide Sekukun, especially Sekukun, because they've already played against Stellenbosch. So Sekukun will decide the title race. No, the second sport race, because they also did the same with the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs, and now they have to do the same. To be fair, they have to do the same thing for us. I will be reading your comments in a moment. But for now, let me just give you ama stats that we've played against Swai Swai. So this game kahle is going to be interesting, given ukuthi we've played against them like in the past. What can I say? In the past, how many games? Yeah, I found this. In the past 5 games that we've played, we beat them 2-1 this season. We remember that when Caleb scored, which was a very impressive game by Caleb, by the way, I have to say. In that game, he scored a goal. I think he scored a header, yeah. And then you have 2-2, which was last season. You have 3-1 that we beat them that other time, and then a draw. So in this game, you can say there's no pattern. Chiefs is definitely gonna win. So gonna be interesting. As I said, it's gonna be really, really, really interesting to see how the game pans out. Right. So let me see what people have to say about the game before we move on to the player availability and the starting 11 and the tactical approach. Right. Simba saying all the best to him. I just put that in the title to provoke you to see what people are going to say. Uthemba is saying Kosi. France is saying why bench Ngobo? If a player played well, then he must continue playing. Then we look at how he performed. Okay, so with title I wrote to Dove is going to come back, right? Or ask the question, something like that. Because here's the thing. If you play Ngobo tomorrow against the Swallows, there is just remember, please like the video. If you play Ngobo tomorrow, that means you then have to play Ngobo with derby. You get what I'm saying? If you play Ngobo 2 games in a row, then that definitely means Ngobo plays in the derby. You get where I'm coming with this, because Ngobo played a very good game against the Cheaper, right? Well, okay game. It wasn't like great. It was solid enough. We can talk about the kicking of the ball, Benongezana, and stuff like that. But what I am saying, Uguti, Ngobo, if he does play tomorrow, then that means Uzwane will not have a leg to stand on when he says, oh Ngobo, I'm not playing you in a derby, yet I've played you in the previous 2 games. Then what do you think will hurt more? Which one will hurt more? Is it the fact that, oh, when Unglalsa against the Cheaper, then you bench me in the game against the Swallows? Or is it gonna be the fact that, oh, you played me in the game at Cheaper, and then one bench against Swallows? Because to me, if you are not going to play Ngobo with derby, then don't play him against Swallows. I know I'm sounding stupid, but in Dabila, the reason why Udove is being played also, the other reason why Udove plays against Ungezana is because, one, Udove has the pace, and the Pirates, we know if they stick Usaleng through the middle, we're going to need a quick player. Ngobo is not that player. Ngobo might be comfortable on the ball, Ngobo might be technically good and he can pass, but the thing is he going to cope with the pacey Pirates when they get a Sigma count? Unless, of course, Chiefs does the same thing that they did in the other game earlier on. Well, the both games that we played against the Pirates were deeper than we usually play. So we're playing much deeper, but still, there are times where we overlap and we go forward and then there are spaces behind. So now the question is, who are you going to trust to cover those spaces behind? Are you going to trust Ngobo against Usaleng? Yabo. Because the other thing is that we saw this thing with Ukole. Ukole is played against Isekukun and it was just a disaster because he wasn't match fit, right? So if he wasn't match fit, he got exposed. in a game that needed someone who was going to run things in the middle, run around, collect the ball, pass the ball, do all those things. I worry though, ukuthi, is it going to be a problem for Ngcobo to then start and play as a centre back, only to find ukuthi when it comes to derby, since he hasn't played in a season, and now he's going to play a game on the 28th, 27th, play a game on the 1st, and then play the game on the 6th. Is that not going to be too much for him, fitness wise? It's just a question that Uzwan is probably asking himself, because I'm thinking, Guti, one of the things that has been worrying Uzwane, worrying in a bad way, in a good way, is Uguti, he has Ngcobo who hasn't played in a long time, but he comes back and he performs. So now here's a question, Uguti, do I bring back Udove? Do I skip the defense that I had against the Chip? It's a good life problem, which will get people talking either way, because if you keep Ngcobo and God forbid Ngcobo makes a mistake, then people are gonna start asking questions. Why would you break a partnership that has been playing for a long time? But again, if you bring back Ngcobo, I mean, if you take out Ngcobo and then you keep Udov, then people are gonna say, why are you taking out a player who performed well against the cheaper? What is wrong with you? Favoritism. So yabo ukuthi it's a very tricky subject, given ukuthi we just talked about ukuthi Ngcobo is leaving in Chiefs. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, especially saying Chiefs struggle against Cape Town City. We do. Why Cape Town City or ngeke shem? Last season though, we lost 2-0 this season. Last season was that mistake by Cardoso, a game that I didn't watch. Why did I not watch that game? I forgot. Uspiwe is saying, yeah, there was some commitment that I had to attend to. Uspiwe is saying, Coast Nationals, we will win even if we play badly, building momentum to the Nedbank Cup. We will be pissed though, Uspiwe, because we will be very pissed, because there's still that thing, we want to building momentum with positive vibes. But as you say, at the end of the day, these last few games, they have felt like get a win. If you don't get a win, we get even more upset. But if you don't get a win and you lose horribly, I mean, if you play bad and you win, we're gonna moan about what kind of football were you playing? But at least we won. But if you fail to win, then it's even worse. Like, what the hell, man? So at the end of the day, I think what's gonna be important in the next 5 games, I'm counting the final, is just knowing how to defend and shut things at the back and be able to score going forward. Eric is saying, Ola Kosi, awe. Sibongo Boko is saying, Dove left back, Ngcobo and Gezana. Swallows is not going to come and attack us. So let's use this game as a training session to prepare for Pirates after. Agreed. I kind of agree with the concept of playing with Dove left back, right? Because he's been consistent in playing, and now he's going to give you another dimension that Uhlanti does not give you when it comes to that position. Uhlanti is going to defend and be okay, solid at the back, but when you ask him to go up and down for the entire 90 minutes, it seems like it's taxing. Because now, what if then again, coach thinks, let me rest Uhlanti and play with Dove at left back and then take out Ngcobo with Derby? That's going to be even worse, because now Uhlanti will come back and play with Derby, and then now Ngcobo will then again be dropped. I get the idea of to practice, but these are 2 different games, if you get what I'm saying. The game that we are going to play against Swallows is completely different from the game we're going to play against the Pirates, because the Pirates, they have better players. They are going to keep the ball, play around, try to play through the middle. If we're not solid, we get punished, right? That's their game. They're going to play the ball, they're going to keep the ball, they're going to move the ball around, which is dangerous for us and to us. But the Swallows, they're going to sit back. So it's 2 different games, and you cannot necessarily say you can practice for Pirates using his Swallows. The game that we could have used for that, well, I can't think of the last game that we played against a team that was attacking. It's been a while. Stellenbosch, maybe. Yeah. So I think also practicing will not help in that way. It's again going to bring up those questions. Uguti, is Uzwane going to actually say, let me drop Uhlanti? Will he take that step? Because if we are being honest and we're sitting here and we're trying to be honest, we have not seen Uzwane being he kind of has been a bit bold when it comes to benching some senior players. Utol beginning of the season, now Quinnick has been benched, but it took long. I doubt Uguti would just do that with Uhland, especially since he hasn't like made mistakes that cost us. For Uhland, if it doesn't give us anything with Derby, I see him being taken out. But I don't think he can drop Uhland at this point, because by taking Udove to left back, that's the first change. By bringing on Ungcobo to centre back, that's a second change. So this midfield, this defense that has not been solid the entire season, you are now going to change 2 games. You're going to make 2 changes to that defense that has been leaking goals to uzodlala iDerby. Yabo ukuthi that's strange, because here's the thing. Defensive Chiefs right now is in the mud, right? We know that. But the thing is, we know their weaknesses. We know how they play together. With these 2 changes of Dove at left back, Ngobo as a centre back, you are making additional changes to a very to a very weak defense. So if you are making some changes, then you are destabilizing this defense even more. So then if we concede more goals, then people are going to say, why did you change it? It was bad, but at least it was the devil that we know. But now you make more changes, and then there's a higher risk of mistakes happening. Because once again, as much as we can say, but Mpilo will have the Swallows to practice with, but then I'm like, yeah, we can have the Swallows to practice with for a different kind of game. So it's difficult, Buffett. I won't lie, but I hear that Uguti, it might just work, and Uzwan, it's up to him. Uguti, will he then think, it's worth it? Is it worth it? That's another question. Manda Senkos Nation, I pray for Dube playing tomorrow. Let me see. Oh yeah, Utuba Utuba could play. It's just that he won't. He won't. I would love that, yes. I would love that, but it just won't. He won't play, because the other changes that could happen is coach, since he tried with Martian and it didn't quite work. But he knows Uguti Swallows will be sitting deep, and he knows Uguti Umashiane does possess a left foot that can play crosses, and that could be one of the ways that we try to hurt Swallows ngalama aerial balls. Then he could just bring back Umashiane to say, I gave you the chance against Chipa, don't disappoint me again. Yabo. So it's going to probably be Mashiane again, because Usakhota now he can be brought in to take the players on. It did work earlier on in the season, because he did take on a player in the corner and then played a cross, and then we scored. So it could work. It could work. Mashiane or Usakhota. I don't think Utuba will be playing. As much as I would love to see him play as well, I just don't see it happening. Mandla continues to say, if Dove is struggling with an injury, then rest him for an extra week for the derby. Personally, I would rest Dove. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Because the last thing you want also, which it depends on how you look at it. If Dove does play tomorrow and then he picks an injury, then questions will be, why would you play someone who's struggling with an injury? Just rest them for the derby. But then if you play Ungcobo 2 games in a row, then you bench him with derby, it would be like, what were you doing to Ungcobo? This thing is going to invite Kuluma either way. So it's going to take Uzwane to be bold in whatever decision that he makes, because if he plays Udove tomorrow, the argument would be we're preparing for a derby. But if he plays Ungcobo tomorrow, we're saving Udove for Itabi. But what does that say about Ungcobo and his position and how he's viewed by the coach? It's gonna invite talk either way. Utikval is saying, my take is that we should not be overly concerned about whether we end up being second place or what. Let us allow Mangete to build the team for the future without any pressure. No, I'm all for Uguti Mangete do your thing. And I've said it, Uguti. I'm not gonna say, hey, he's one out if he doesn't get top 2, right? But it's out there. Yeah, but even himself, he hasn't said that, oh no, I am not we were building. He himself has said, no, we can still go for the Champions League spot. So if he thinks they are going for the Champions League spot, he has already planted a seed in us, Yoguti. Oh, okay, they are trying to get to the Champions League. And that's the ambition of the team. Because even Kaizer Mtaung Jr. did say, Yoguti, the team is building, the coach is building, he's cooking, he's doing whatever. But at the end of the day, while you're cooking, akekho umuntu ovela pack nje unless, I don't know, no one cooks and never tastes the food while they're cooking it. It's being cooked, but along the line, you just dip your finger. Well, that's sound unsanitary. You take a spoon, you taste, you go, oh, okay. Can see, maybe I need more salt. Then you add more salt, and then you're like, okay, now this looks good, but maybe let me season it even more. Because along the process is okay, let's season it even more. Let's like add more water. It's too dry or whatever that we need to add. So we are in that process. We are moving. Understand? But along the line, we should check how is this thing working. And for us to see what it's working, for us to see what the food is being cooked or whatever is happening, you need to also say, oh, okay, it has achieved this much. Now it tastes a different way. That means it has boiled for such a long period. I'm very bad at cooking. But what I'm trying to say basically is if you're cooking a rice, let's just make an example. If you're boiling a rice, you take something, you can feel good, okay, it's softer and whatever. Must figure to the conclusion, Ila, when you take it out of the cooking stove, you put it on the side. What a bad way of trying to explain this. The point is, along the way, Chiefs must check Uguti, are we progressing? And one of the ways to check that is to play Kuma Champions League. Umale is saying the Swallows game isn't that important. Since Dolly is injured, try some combos to see what works best without Dolly. Abomina Mandla will tell you this. I know Guti, as you don't like to hear this, but Uzwane, I feel like he's going to continue to try Umashian. I think he will. Like the two candidates for that position is the player who has played this season, who is Usahota, and the other is Umashian. Because he depends on Mashian for his passing, he depends on Usahota for his pace. So I don't think he will try and add anything else. Like I genuinely would like to see different combinations. Like I would like to see two players that I would like to see. I see Uduba playing as a number 9 and then pushing Udupre to the left. I see that. It's a very good one. I also would like to see what Umahlatsi can do playing as a 10 and then push Umdu to being a winger and see what happens if Umdu, Dupre and Saile play up front and then Umahlatsi plays behind them. Then we have Sitebe and Mat or Sitebe and Zwan. See how that works. I would also like to see what happens without let's say we play Umatlo as a 10 once again, and then we play Umdu on the left, and then you play Udupre through the middle, Saile on the right. I would also like to see that. I would also like to see Saile being drawn to the left wing. Sekgotha playing through the right wing because he's not played in that position for a long time. Seeing what happens when Sekgotha tries to cut in. And then when he cuts in, then someone is overlapping, be it to Frosler or whoever. Solomons is playing as a right back, then play reverse pass, then I'm a cut back. I would like to see all those things. It just seems like coach is going to try Umashiane. And I will agree, Uguti. Umashiane at times, not at times, most of the times, he will produce a moment, but he does not give you that consistent performance, which is the same thing that I've been saying about who's this guy? Frosler. Frosler is a good player, but this season he has played in my moments. I saw good people got offended when I said I didn't think Frosler was a man of the match, although people were like, he provided an assist, and there was another assist that he provided, another chance that he created. It's just that Umdu missed it. I'm like, sure, I get that. He shown in two moments, shown as an SHONE. He shown in two moments and in those balls that he was creating. But then consistently throughout the game, when you need him to support Usail, to provide an option out wide for Usail when Usail is cutting in, you don't see that. You see Uguti is casually joking. I don't like that. Yabo. So I want a player who's going to show up every moment of the game. And I know this conserving your energy also. But the thing is, with Solomons, when he does play, I see that consistently appearing going forward, consistently appearing defensively. So that is my issue. Even it's the same thing with Mashiane. Umashiane, like he came here Pietermaritzburg United. He created two chances that we ended up leading to us winning. But then Glamayama games uzofika boza and then produce one moment. And then you're like, if only he could produce more of those moments. But then most of the times it just doesn't do those things. And that just makes me sad because I think he does possess quality. It's just that his mind is somewhere else. I don't know where. I was basically saying I think tomorrow should be the game where we see Zwane, Duba, Matlo, Sekgotha play to give our regulars players a chance to rest ahead of the derby since it's more important. Karma could come back. That's interesting. I saw Uguti has started light training. I wonder, Uguti, is he completely fit? Because what if Karma comes back? Then it's guaranteed Uguti is going to start with Dab. If Karma is back for tomorrow's game, then he's definitely playing on that game. But when I checked the club website, they only said there are no other returns from injury, which basically means the only person who's coming back from injury, which was a slight touch, is Ulo Kunch, Utove Beno Pimenyiman. So I don't think Upiliat is going to be back, but we'll see. Anything can happen because even earlier on in the season, you remember when they said Pimenyiman was injured and then we ended up seeing him come on like, thought you were injured, so can't put it past. But yeah, you're right. I would like to see those players being used. Tabang saying, if I was Zwane, I'm protecting all my regulars against Swallows. That's another way to look at it. About the question because Mina, whenever I view this, I know Gutu Zwane obviously. I view this in a way that says, as much as Uzwane might not be consciously thinking, oh, they're gonna talk, but Guayana, he questions himself, Uguti, if I do this, what are the implications? Which any logical person would do, right? So I am looking at this thinking, you rest all your players, the good players or your starters. What does that imply? It implies that you're already saying E-League is an impossible mission to finish third, and you are putting all your eggs in one basket, which is the Nedbank Cup. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, you remember when in that season, when we were playing against the Vets, and then he benched Dunukovic, we're playing against the Vets. One bench Nukovic because Nukovic had a yellow card, right? A key player was going to be, if you got another yellow card, was going to be suspended for the game against Sundowns. So he benches Unukovic, and then questions were asked to Guti, what's the difference? 3 points where Vets, where Fana, no 3 points with Sundowns. That was the thing that people said to Guti, 3 points with 3 points. But it seemed like, well, not it seemed like, if you win against the Sundowns, you are not only in that context because we're racing for the title. Winning against Sundowns is a 6 point. It's a 6 point match because you are taking 3 points from them, which could boost their title hopes. But you are also giving yourself 3 points, which then, yabo, what's the word? Which then gives you advantage over Sundown. So you have taken 3 points from them, but you have given yourselves 3 points. So it's 6 points. And if you're playing with Vets, you win the 3 points, but then Sundowns also wins their 3 points. So it's not directly affecting them. But what ended up happening is that because we were not scoring and the game was just not happening, he ended up bringing on Nukovic, and then Nukovic got a yellow card, and then he still missed the game either way. So it was like, what's the point of playing someone who's in a risk of being suspended for that game, but then again you end up bringing him on, and then he ends up being suspended for the game in any case. So it's that thing, Yoguti, is he going to say, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket, which is the Nedbank Cup, or is he going to say, no, let me try to win this game, and if in instruction, go out, score the goal. Now we had an advantage because we're playing on Monday instead of Tuesday. And the nice thing is that we're playing. It's not even in the game is in Limpopo. It's not in. I thought it was. I forgot that it was not in at FNP. So, but in any case, the game is on Monday, and the derby is on Saturday. So it's better than the Tuesday and then Saturday. So win the game against Swallows, come back, then train for a derby. Win the game in the first half, and then I will take you out in the second half because I want to rest you for the upcoming game. Like for instance, Usteb akabe solid enough in that game, and then take him out at 45 minutes or 50 if we're leading by 3-0. Take him out early and then rest him because you don't want him to be tired against the Pirates. So it depends on how you want to look at it. For me, I'm thinking I wouldn't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I wouldn't, because winning against Pirates, yes, it does get us to the finals, but getting to the finals does not guarantee us Ugutu going to win. But winning against the Swallows gives me 3 points. If I beat Super Sport, then those are other 3 points, and I've already taken 3 points from Super Sport, which means I'm level on points with them, and hopefully I can score 7 goals against Swallows. The dreams that I have, yabo. So it's all in how you look at it. But I agree, that's one way of definitely looking at it. And then Tabang Loyo, Umandla saying, I would not play Dove at left back. Shanti has been fine defensively. Yeah, that's another thing. Guti, you take him out, and then you are just adding a complication that you don't need. Mandla saying, against Pirates, Chiefs will probably allow Pirates to have the ball, but hit them on counters because we can't compete with them in the middle. Yeah, so what I was saying, Guti, we against the Pirates, we've set deep in both games and we've utilized them counters, and it has worked. So why change it now? Specifically saying, but I don't think we're in a position to take any gambles, especially at this point in the season, considering the fact that we have been quite poor defensively this season. We cannot, I agree with you, definitely can't. Play the team that you know, man. Man is saying, but there is no illusion here. Ngobo is second to Dove. Ngobo is only playing because Dove is injured, so I don't know what talk should happen. Hey, when Amandla, I saw a tweet that was laughing at that fact. Uguti, people will go mad. People will go mad if Udove walks back into the starting 11 after Ngobo's performance. people will be pissed. Like, it's the fact of life. But as you say, it's like wishful thinking vele to think ukuthi Dove, who's been the first choice defender, who hasn't changed. I mean, Ukwininka has been changed, who played alongside him. Ungcobo played, no, Ungcobo never played alongside Udove. Actually, Udove replaced Ungcobo. So Dove has played alongside Kwininka, Dove has played alongside, Dove has played alongside Kwininka, and who's this? And ungezani. So it's a known thing ukuthi i-position yakhe. If there is anyone who could be benched, which I don't think will happen, would be Ungezani, but not Udov. So you are right. I was basically saying, meanwhile, our development team has conceded their 87 goals this season in 27 games. Then you wonder why you see players like Abomshini are not quite like good defensively. You look at Usamgelo, not good defensively. Mashiane, not good defensively. All our development players just come up, they defensively nje, jammed, up. So it's like, what do they teach these guys? They only teach them how to attack, because that's a red flag. And look at what's happening down there. They are conceding a lot of goals. Sibonga saying, Kosi, the coach must tell Sile to cheat and stay on the halfway line on the right so he can get the ball and run when we counter attack, to stay with wide with Dupreez on the left to get with attacking. To stay wide on the left so to get width for attacking. I think Vele, that's the approach against the Pirates. Against the Pirates, Vele, you see that Tuguti, we always set up in a way that if we get the ball, Ziakal, we're hitting you. And the player who usually actually stays that far up is Dupree. It's usually Mdu and Dupree. And then the ball is played to Dupree, and then he can hit people. Please like the video, by the way, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Next one is dun 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 dun. Mandla is saying, Mashiane, I know, that makes me sad. Why not try to pre Duba and Sahel for once? That's not gonna happen, man. Shem. I would love to see that. It's not happening. Sibonga is saying, with Duba starting and Caleb coming on second half against Swallows, I'll just make. But why do you want to make me sad? Bringing on Caleb second half, I would rather start to Caleb, not bring him on second half. Shem. Guys. Caleb is better coming as a starter, and then you can take him out, because he does not change the game so far. When he's come on, I've not seen him change the game. So it makes me sad to even talk about Caleb. You saw I was here, now I'm here, because it makes me sad. Mandla saying Kama won't start for the derby if he plays tomorrow. Why not? Okay, continues. Kama will play as a sub versus Pirates if ready, because he can't mark and lacks pace. Him playing changes the dynamic of all the attack, because he has to play more central or overload a wing to mitigate him. Kama will play as a sub versus Pirates if ready, because he can't mark and lacks pace. Him playing changes the dynamic of the attack, because he has to play more central or overload a wing to mitigate him. I think when Amandla coming on as a sub works, but the problem is what I always have a problem with is that if you bring a player on as a sub, that's your plan B. That's like your saving grace. Uguti, oh no, plan A didn't work. So I would rather plan A be a guy who's coming back from injury, who could work, but if it doesn't do well, then you take him out. But if you bring him on second half to change the game, and he's not fit, and then you've wasted a sub. Don't know if you get what I'm saying. If a player doesn't perform first half, you can take him out. You are not ready, go out. Because you are not ready, it's fair to say you just returned from a 4-month, 5-month injury. But if you bring me on second half, then I'm not giving you anything. So that is why I'm saying I would rather start him than take him out than to bring him on second half. And because even if I do play him in that derby, I bring him on first half. Let's say we get a goal first half. I will bring him on first half. Let's say I will start with him first half, and then it doesn't perform, and then I take him off, knowing Uguti, I'm just going to bring someone who is going to say bring him to second half, or someone who's going to work harder than Ukama, and then we play to play centrally, so that now everyone who's there can mark, and we're fighting to defend the goal that we have scored if we score a goal. If we still need to score, then I bring on someone who's fitter, who can come and still bring the energy going forward. So either way, dynamic game changes with Ukama. Either he starts or it doesn't. So I would rather start with him. Buko saying they must practice cutbacks when attacking. I'm not laughing at your question. I'm seeing another question that's making me laugh. Saying they must practice cutbacks when attacking also, because against Pirates, their defense knows how to keep a clean sheet. I agree, because we've not seen much of those, have we? No, we have not. Like, I've not seen the Chiefs score a cutback goal. We have played cutbacks, but not score them. Like, we don't score goals from cutbacks. The only other time that I saw us scoring a cutback was early on in the season, when who played that cutback? It was it Kama played the cutback, and then Umtu slid in, and then he scored. That's the only goal I remember that was a cutback. Yeah. Because usually our players, when they get in those positions where they can play a cutback, they take shots, which is what we've been saying. We do get players in good positions to finish off those cutbacks, but we don't pass the ball into those areas, which is what I said in the other video post match. Looking at Man City, obviously they are elite and they have technique, but De Bruyne plays the same pass to Haaland every game. But now we're seeing Haaland convert more of those chances because he's elite than Uche still scored in those spaces. Sterling, when he was played as a false nine, whoever was played as a false nine, Aguero as a 9, scoring the same goal. We saw the same thing with Arsenal this season before they blipped or bottled, whatever you want to call it. They were scoring the same goal, cutback net. Why? Because they know the areas in the box that will be occupied by defenders. Defenders will be trying to protect balls coming in the near post, and others will be guiding the far post, and others will be trying to track the person who's marking and prevent them. But if that player who's playing wide is skillful enough, or we create an overload in that side. In the KCA Chiefs, how we've been creating the overload is Umtu moves to the right wing, Sahil carries the ball, and then Solomons or Frosler overlaps. So now it's usually the left back now has to face the 3 people who are coming to him, and then a center back, or if a center back pulls out, then there's a space that is opened. So it's still 3v2, but also there's a space opened in the middle. So what usually happens is a winger has to drop back. It's still 3v2, right? And then a central midfielder has to drop so that they can make the numbers 3v3, but then you've opened the space in the middle, and then we cut the ball back and we score. We don't do that enough. We don't overload side. I've seen that I saw that against Pietermaritzburg, Nedbank Cup, but I don't see that much. I just see rush ukuthi uSahil uyedwa kumele athathe abantu. Oh, no. I don't see us overlapping sides that much, which could work for us. It works for Man City, it works for Arsenal, it works for Liverpool when they were in their prime. Even now they're coming back, they're getting better. You see Henderson going that side, you see Trent, you see Salah. It's 3v2, pull people to that side. when you pull people to that side and then someone occupies that space outside the box, and all of a sudden you're in trouble because you are stretched and you that. So it's the thing. And then next is a comment is from Umandla who's saying, haha, I told Mpilo in development, they done emphasis on defense, only attack. And that's, is that a word? A bulliant? They can win with the Disky Shield and not the DDC League because Shield is top 8. Yeah, that's evident. Is it evident? I don't know what you were saying. But that's what you are saying. Go see. Uh, the point is that they only, because I saw even the standings, they are not great. They are like bad. It's really bad, the position with Disky, with DDC team yet. Because why would you not emphasize things on defense? It's weird. It's weird because in any case, besides Uguti, you want the players to enjoy themselves, but there is nothing to enjoy about conceding a goal. And if you are not emphasizing it defense, then you are killing the team, the senior team there is. We're coming to the end of a stream in 8 minutes. Mandla saying this guy isn't ready to be a goalkeeper, talking about Tubontle dropping the ball. Utepo is saying, Pilo, I have my question. I know my question has nothing to do with the discussion now. What do you eat there, bro? Here to Indonesia. So I eat the food in SA. Not all of it is here. Cause like Doritos, for instance, and Lay's, just an example, they cost 100 rands over here. If you convert the money. Chicken, yes, chicken is affordable. But when it comes to beef, pork, and other types of meat, it's expensive. So I eat noodles, I eat chicken, eggs. It's limited because some of the things are crazy expensive. I bought a piece of pork that was this big. I thought it was 20,000. It was 100. I was saying it to 20,000 because that's the value they use here. But it was 100 rands. Like, what? I just spent so much money. I could have bought a lot of beef in SA with this money. So some things are expensive here because they import them from other countries. Like yogurt, for instance, it costs like 80 rands, 90 rands here. And in SA, it's like 25, 30 rands. So some of the things are expensive, but some of the things are cheaper as well. Street food, which I don't buy a lot of those because my stomach is very picky. So yeah, some of the food is similar. Kono KFC, McDonald's, and all the other shops that are in SA. Not all Pick and Pay. Yeah. Oh man, listen. What I'm saying about Kama is that Zwane only makes subs 70 minutes, so it's better than a Mashiane sub, is my opinion. So it's better than a Mashiane sub. Oh, okay, I get you. Uguti. Because Vele, if Uzwane started to come, he would sub him on the 70th minute, even if he wasn't delivering. That would piss me off. I would be so mad. Like, he is not fit, bro. Take him out. Take him out. So, yeah, it sucks. Specifically is saying, but they can score shame. They have 50 goals in 27 matches. They are better in terms of scoring than the 3 teams above them. Had they had been defensively strong, they would be competing for the league. They say, what do they say? Strikers will win new matches, but defenders will win new championships. That's what happens because over the long period of time, if you are not solid defensively, then you're going to struggle. Even if you score 20 goals, if you concede 30, then that's a problem. You can score triple the amount of goals that everyone else scores. Oh, Mourinho scores 1 goal and that he defends the entire game and he scores 1 goal. You are finished. You are finished. I heard Jurgen Klopp saying there was, I know, Liverpool fanboy, there was a game that he played that ended 4-3, I think. I think it was against Leeds, beginning of the 2020-2021 season. or another game, but I just remember that one where people were like, "Oh, it was such a great game, end to end stuff." Is like, no, but if you're a coach, if it's end to end, that means there are too many gaps that the other team is exploiting as well. So as a coach, you're also trying to find a way to make sure that games are not too end to end. What you are scoring, the conceding, or going there and just control the game. Make sure Guti, the ball is yours and punish them, whoever that you're playing against. Umandla saying Chiefs players showboating at 2-1. Who teaches players to showboat without winning convincingly? These are bad habits. It translates to the senior team as well. Once we are one goal up, we just relax because we think we have won. Like we relax. It's in the brain. Juguti, we have won. Now we can do whatever. It's not logical. It's completely illogical. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like why? Because we development. They are showboating at 2-1. We senior team will waste time at 2-1. Like we start playing passes angasile, keeper starts wasting time. Mind you, sometimes those things happen in the first half. Like we're leading in the 15th minute, and then all of a sudden on the 20th, seslihlana namabola or we're now time wasting. It doesn't make any logical sense. Sibongo Buku is saying Chiefs must hire former players to coach these boys go MTC as Pirates have Dugu Joseph Makanya coaching them as they are top and they would be more motivated to play for maybe Shabalala or Yeye. Do you think that's the only thing though? I agree Uguti, we need I've been advocating for this Uguti. We need our club legends to coach development here too, because these players grow up idolizing these great legends. Please like the video by the way. But there's also just the question Uguti, do they actually clarify Uguti, if we say or when we say be comfortable on the ball or enjoy, we're not saying if it's first half, start doing it. Like showboating as a mode of entertainment, it can be used like on the 70th minute when you're trying to control the game, but you are already at an advantage. Uguti, you are clearly ahead. It's 4-0, and now let's entertain the fans. But if you're gonna say, "Oh no, let's just start showboating on the 7th minute or go to one score," like what are we doing? What is this? It doesn't make any sense. You can become a member of the channel by clicking the link on the description, and it's only 20 rands per month. You get member shoutouts, you get loyalty badges next to your name, and you get priority reply to your comments. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow with match preview. And until next time, ePol ET76 win, 14% draw, and 8% e-loss. Oh yeah, I forgot to read a comment. Wait, did I see that comment? Yeah, it just disappeared. And there was a comment that I saw, it has now disappeared. The last comment that I will read to Buile, who says, but when there is no pressure in trying to delay play, you have to use showboating. I was saying bye-bye, but now I'm reading another comment. But when there is no pressure in trying to delay a play, you have to use showboating. I feel like when Buile, there's also just the thing, Yoguti, where do we do the thing? Because Brighton does use some, not showboating, the defenders just put their foot on the ball and then they bait you into pressing them and then they can exploit spaces. So I get your point. It's just that sometimes we overdo it. I'm not saying there's no place for showboating. I'm just saying there is a place, a time, and a way of doing that, not excessively. I've seen our players begibeli bola bedliwa MTC. True story. I'm not even lying. So that happened. So okay, we'll talk about the starting 11 tomorrow, 1 hour before the game. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. I will see you tomorrow, as I said. And until next time, continue liking the video. Eco C. Remember, equals. I'll pay you, boy.